Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Shit's about to hit the fan. Welcome to Unsanctioned Thursdays on Wrestling with Freddie.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Unsanctioned Thursdays, the show that you guys asked for. We're going to get right to it. Once a month, we bring in independent wrestlers. We're changing it up a little bit, although he has wrestled, but now he also teaches wrestling to others with dreams. Today's guest is Mr. Danny Cage of the famous Monster Factory. You might have seen it on the Apple TV Plus docuseries, which is awesome. And I love when people get to see wrestling from a different perspective. And let's kind of start with that. How did that come about, and how was the process of it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Was it like Hard Knocks where you didn't want him there, or was it more like a documentary?
I wanted it there completely. We've been prepping for this forever. When I bought the Monster Factory back in 2011, we had all these people start hitting us up because the reality show stuff, and everybody who came in, I was like, if you're gonna do it, we're not doing a fake one. We're doing stuff where you just follow us around. And 2011, 2012, all these different people bumped into us, and probably around 2015, someone hit us up. And long story short, 2015, they did a mini doc on us that was supposed to be like 90 seconds for a sizzle reel to show what the production company could do. And when they came in, they're like, all this equipment. And I was like, how long is the documentary going to be? Like an hour, 2 hours, or like 90 seconds? I was like, I think there's a lot more here for you. And as they got to know us and see everything, they came back the next week and the next week. And then it turned into like a 16-minute mini doc that you can see on Vimeo right now. Like Damian Priest is in it, Nick Camarado, all these different people that went on. And then after that, they started pitching it to all these different companies. And in 2018, Jeremiah Zagar jumped on board because he was with the production company. And he's the one who later on did Hustle. He got on board, and Apple was interested immediately because of him. And then the pandemic hit. And then they were like, we need another proof of concept. So during the pandemic, they were flying people from LA to film at the Monster Factory. We'd only allow 2 people in. We'd have to be in masks. We'd have to be checked, all this stuff. And this went on for 3 or 4 months. They sent them the reel. They greenlit it on July 31st. And that day also, I got the message from WWE that they were signing one of my guys, one of my refs. So it was like a really good day. And then we went from there. And like our students have always been prepped for this because we have cameras rolling all the time. We run our school like the School of Rock. Because in pro wrestling, you know it, Freddie, because you've been on the wrestling side and TV side. So many in wrestling just think wrestling is, we get in the ring and we wrestle, and they don't teach the other stuff. We teach the production. We have people working the switcher during training. We have people running the cameras. We have people running the audio. We have people doing everything. So once they came in, it was like, all right, guys, let's get to work. And it was a blast, man. I had fun. The worst part about it and what ripped my heart out is like, halfway through filming, they're like, we're probably definitely have a season 2, but I can't promise you this. So like immediately, I'm like, oh my God, next year is Philly. Next year, Damian Priest can cash in all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then I even said to them, they go, what do you see for next season? I go, well, Kelsey's going to be retired. I'll train him for WrestleMania. Damian Priest will cash in, win the Money in the Bank. And Larry Sharp will get in the Hall of Fame. I said all that. Like I have an email. And all that happened, except we didn't get Larry in the Hall of Fame. But it was cool. I got to train Jason Kelsey. That was amazing.
Let me ask you this, and then, Jeff, you can jump in. Let's just say that I didn't have spine surgery and that I was 30 years younger, and I wanted to be a professional wrestler because I just loved the business.
Yeah.
But I didn't know how to jump in, and I heard about your school. How would I even go about applying to your school? What kind of questions do you ask these guys when they come in?
Here's how easy it is. I make it like right when the show came out, our prices were like $3,500. And what we get is people that had issues. People that run to wrestling usually are people that are going through stuff and they're looking for an artistic outlet and all this stuff. It's $1,000 lifetime membership. All you have to do is every year redeem for $260. If you don't want to stay, don't stay. There's no contracts. I don't automatically withdraw. You show up, put in the work. We train 6 days a week. I say, give me 2 days. And then from that, increase your workload. You can come in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days a week. I don't care. We're open all the time. That's as simple as that. And we start slowly. We're not there to try to make you puke. We're not there to bully you. It's work at your own pace. We have people that are 53 years old. I trained a guy who was in his 60s. He got to have a match in front of his friends and family. He was amazing. And listen to this. It saved his life. During training, he had a leg pain. They checked it out. It was a blood clot. And they're like, if you didn't come in, you could have died, and you wouldn't even have known you had this. So
wrestling saves lives, people.
Wow.
That's right, man.
That's it. I'm in. I'm signing up.
Let's go, brother.
I've got that type of money, Danny Cage. I got that type of money.
Let's go, brother. Sign up, show up. And everyone laughs at me about like my prices, but I look at it like this. Most schools can only fit like 10 to 20 students. I have a building where we can fit, and I have enough hours where we can fit 100 students if I want.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't I go, all right, come here. There's no excuse for you not to do it. It's not the money. It's not this. It's not that. You don't have a contract. Just show up and put in the work. That's what everything is about. That's what people don't understand. You're not going to learn it all overnight. I don't like the 12-week programs because that's not going to get you in anywhere, and it forces you bad habits on you, and then you latch onto the wrong people. This is a cool environment. Everybody gets along. We're all working together. It's amazing just to see. You know, we have straight students, we have gay students, we have trans students, we have Muslim students, we have Jewish students, we have everything. It's a big melting pot. It's exactly what you see on the show. It is like the Breakfast Club. It's just an eclectic melting pot of misfits. That's what pro wrestling is.
Well, day one, I'm doing chair shots. You know what I'm saying? I'm a bad guy. I'm a bad guy.
Not going to do it.
Danny, I'm one of the bad guys. I come in day one, I'm chair shotting everybody. That's how this works.
Give him a bat, give him a chair, give him all the weapons. Danny, I don't want you to be like, well, the one I'm most proud of is this, because artists are sensitive. But is there a wrestler that you take a special pride in seeing where they've gone and what they've accomplished at any level? It doesn't matter how far they made it.
There's so many, but like, so people can relate, I would say probably right now it's two. Actually, there's three. There's three guys that have just really done amazing things and are on TV and stuff like that. So Damian Priest, Steve Macklin, and QT Marshall.
I met QT a little bit.
And here's the thing about like Damian Priest and QT, like they weren't my students. Like that's where people get things twisted. We were wrestling together. We were peers. And then I got out of wrestling for a while, came back, and then bought the Monster Factory. I started with no students, no building, nothing in 2011. And then within 2013 is when Macklin got signed. He was my first student, and he only had 18 matches. Joe Briscoe came in, scouted him, signed him. But like Damian Priest and QT, they were like my peers. And like, I was like, hey guys, you know, come on board. Let's do this. Let's put in some work. And then it was like them just coming in to train. And then I was like, all right, guys, I want you to start training guys with me. And I want to start doing this. So then I'd like tell them stuff we were covering. And then like I tell everybody, wrestling is about filling needs. And so is life in general, finding a need and filling it. So like, I would just wait for them to start doing their thing. Like they would start helping more with promoting and with writing storylines and coming up with ideas. And then it's infectious. And then other people do it. And then it was just so cool because like QT was stuck at a wall. He was trying to figure out what he wanted to do. And then he moved to Georgia. And then Damien got his tryout that we were pushing for. And then they're like, we don't want you. And then like most people, you know, in his mid 30s would be like, all right, I'm done. Instead, like he got signed at Ring of Honor and then kicked so much ass there. They had no choice but to sign him, you know? And that's like, just see them just like overcome that stuff. And especially Macklin, 2 tours in Afghanistan, didn't know what he was going to do with his life. In the middle of training with me, he quit to go try to be a state trooper. Didn't do that, came back. I made him sit on the sidelines for like a month and just watch training for even leaving and not shaking my hand. And I tell him that all the time. And he came back and he just killed it. It's just, I don't know, man. It's like a parent. You just see him go on and then like, you're just like, all right, man, I don't want to take all the credit because they had to put in the work, but it's like prideful seeing them go on and do cool shit. And I was a small part of that.
Danny, just to kind of like compliment Priest even more, I'm trying to think the last time I saw a guy end up better after losing a title. Like,
yep.
I'm sure it's happened because everything's happened before, but I can't remember in my lifetime someone losing the title and coming back the very next day and being 10 times cooler than he was or she was when they lost it. And I watched that Raw when he came out and I was just like, what the hell? Like, it was like,
I just got chills.
I get chills talking about it. I was just like, who is this? I already liked him, but it was like, wow, that a loss just put him over the top and the crowd was behind him. So I'd never seen that before. I have.
Here's the thing, like, that people don't realize. Me and my friends, like, I don't talk to Priest at all about what he's doing directional wise. I don't do any of that because I don't want to know. I like being surprised. Like, I didn't know he was winning the championship. I wasn't even there. I was in my living room. So, like, it was like a mixed bag. Like, I'm literally high stepping, like when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, through my living room, and I'm crying. And then I went, can I curse?
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
And then, like, I'm crying. And then I went, motherfucker just won the championship and I ain't there. What the fuck, mother? And then I'm going, but then, like, I'm just like, it ain't about me. It's him. It's, but yeah, like, we don't talk about it. So, like, when I saw that, and I saw he won the champion or lost the championship, I was like, I know he's got a plan because he just re-signed a contract and he's not going to do this if he don't have a plan. And I know him and Rhea and everybody are super tight. And there's nothing better than working with your friends, but there's nothing even better than, like, beating your friends. So, like, he's going to get the feud with Finn and JD and Dom. It's perfect. Everything's roses for him. And, like, he's a smart dude. Like, I guarantee you he had all that set up himself. Like, he has always been like that. Like, from day one, like, when I was like, I want you on board. And back then, like, he was a big dude and not, like, meaning heavy. And I'm like, dude, if you're going to be an example, you got to start putting in the work. And he did. Like, we trained
He
at, like,
looks 8. So solid now. He looks
when
so
we were
solid.
in, we would train at 8. He'd show up at 7. Then kids started showing up to train with him. He started showing up at 6:30. And, like, that's not a joke. It's not even like it's like Kobe. No, like, that was him. That's what he was doing. Like, he's a badass. All those guys are. I'm so proud of him.
Jeff, I took up all the time. Take us home, dude. What you got to get something in there, man.
Well, one, love the name Danny Cage. A big Mortal Kombat fan. Yeah. Feel Johnny Cage style. Is there any relation to that? First of all,
here's how I got the name. I was driving down Route 130, going to the Monster Factory to have my first match. They told me I needed a new name. I'm driving. On the billboard is Nicolas Cage, Snake Eyes. And in neon green is Cage, really big. And on the bottom, Snake Eyes. And I go, Danny Cage. And neon green is my color now. That's it.
I love that. But what I wanted to ask was, I'm a sober guy now, and I was wondering if, when you watch these guys, is there anything you've seen where you're like, man, they could really be something special if they maybe just didn't smoke pot, or if they didn't drink, or maybe they're just too lazy, or maybe they're addicted to toxic relationships, or like whatever. Is there ever something you've seen that maybe a wrestler listening to this that wants to go to the next level is like, maybe I should reconsider this, or just some red flags?
Yeah, well, there's just tons of red flags. I mean, we could start another show on that. But, like, what's great about the Monster Factory is, like, I tell everybody, again, find a need, fill it. So everybody out there is teaching arm bars and all this other stuff. There's never been a shortage of arm bars. There's been many shortage of good people in pro wrestling. So what I try to do is counsel these kids on, like, work relationship. Like, I've been married 20-some, been together with my wife for 20-some years, married 19, 2 girls, 16 and 17, no issues with the school, all this stuff. So I'm like, you can talk to me about stuff. So I see it all the time. And I tell everybody, my wife knew from day one, like, our anniversary was just last week. I was at the Monster Factory for training. It wasn't a special occasion. It was training. That's my fucking job. Right. So if you take it seriously, people will. If you start neglecting it, they'll treat it as a joke. If you were going to school to be a doctor, they wouldn't go, hey, we have a party for the family. You wouldn't go, well, let me blow off this testing. But if you told them, hey, I have class, they'd be like, oh, that's right. If you said I had trained, they go, oh, come on. And then you go. Now everything that you just said that you were serious about is gone. You know what I mean? So the biggest thing is just be honest with everybody. I just tell everybody like who's in my life, like this is my priority. Like,
Sure.
I'm sorry, it's even over my kids and wife right now because this is how my wife and kids are fed.
Yeah.
You know, if I don't like during the pandemic, I needed to, I didn't pay the mortgage on my house for over a year. I paid the rent on the Monster Factory because after the pandemic, sure, I have a house, but now I have no way to maintain the house because now I don't have the Monster Factory. You know what I mean?
Dude.
I was like, we'll live at the Monster Factory. We have to. That's part of the struggle. You know what I mean? I can't run a wrestling school out of my house. I can live out of the Monster Factory.
Love that.
So the thing is, you gotta treat yourself like a priority. And then once they start to realize that, then you guys are working on the dream together.
All of a sudden it's not selfish. All of a sudden they start to understand the perspective of it a little bit more. Dude, I can't thank you enough. You were so generous with your time and with your words, and for anybody listening that's wanting to get into wrestling, I think you said so much. So I appreciate you coming on. I'd love to have you come on again, dude. I wish like I could have worked with you when I was at WWE. Like, dude, like I want to pick your brain on wrestling so bad. I wish we had more time.
Like seriously, I give out my cell phone. So this is for everybody who wants to text me and hit me up about training. 609-471-7904. I also give my number out for anyone who wants to pull up and think they're a tough guy. I'm 50. I'm 50.
Yeah.
I told my wife I'd stop that after 50, but I lost some weight. I'm feeling spry.
Yes.
He gave me till 51, but I always give out my number, 609-471-7904. Freddie, guys, seriously, hit me up later. I'd love to bullshit with you because I got some stuff I want to talk to you about. Like, seriously. Oh, can I just plug one thing?
Anything you want.
All right, I might tear up. A friend of the family and my daughter's was killed by a train out front of my house. It's sorry to bring it down, but
Nope.
It's on my Twitter, GoFundMe. Help out. That's it.
You're the man, Danny.
So we just had a candlelight vigil last night and all, and it was awesome to see the town come together. But sorry to bring you down, guys.
No. Don't apologize for being real, man. No man should apologize for that ever. And I appreciate you saying it, and I appreciate you sharing it, and I appreciate you being part of the show, everybody. That's Danny Cage. Tune into us every single week, and we'll see you guys then. Take care. Peace. This has been a production of iHeart's My Cultura Podcast Network. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.